Fantasy Sports Island. As you can see, I'm all by myself again, but I have my tropical shirt on, so I am good to go. You are on Fantasy Football Island today, podcast number 4, and today we're going to talk about Dynasty Leagues. So I mentioned a while back that I was going to show off Reality Sports Online's Dynasty League that I'm in. It's a lot of fun. I think you'll get a lot of good content out of today's session. So, like, comment, subscribe down below if you like this content, and welcome to the podcast. Here we go. So a Dynasty League it's quite different than your typical redraft leagues. Obviously, you're thinking long-term. The guys you're going to draft or pick up in auctions are going to be younger guys. You're not going to want to draft guys like Aaron Rodgers unless you're thinking short-term, just for maybe this year, maybe next year. But guys like Christian McCaffrey is going to be gold, obviously. Saquon Barkley. The rookies that are coming into the NFL as running backs this year are valuable. Those are the type of guys you want to build your team around. So the free agent auction is like the most intense thing I've ever been in. It's just a lot of fun. And basically there are 12 teams in my league and we're all bidding on all the free agents. And it's just amazing. You just hit one little button to increase your bid and you bid up players as high as you want to pay them. And it's based on 1, 2, 3, or 4 year contracts. So there's an algorithm that Reality Sports uses. When you offer more years, the dollar amount per year can be a little bit less, and they'll like your offer better than another person's offer. So say you offer a 1-year deal for $20 million to a player, but someone else offers a 2-year deal at $36 million, so it's $18 million a year. They'll like the 2-year deal better, and they'll go with that team. But it'll tell you on the screen, and I'm going to show you in just a minute, a sample free agent auction, which is so much fun. Okay, here's your home screen standings. I am the Camarillo flashes. On the right, you'll see the matchups for week 1. This is a head-to-head and a total points league, so we pay out equally for both. Then on the right, you'll get your transactions, and these are the transactions that I've made in the last few days. I cut Josh Gordon, I cut Devonta Freeman, and I picked up the rookie option on Christian McCaffrey's rookie contract. So as you can see here, he's going to make $23,774,000 in his final year of that rookie contract. And then you have your player news, the draft order, and as you see, I do not have a draft pick in the first round. I do have a draft pick in the second round, which will be the last pick of the draft because there's only 2 rounds, and that's the rookie draft. And then you have the cap summary, the breakdowns of what every team's salary is. And the salary cap is around the same. It is the same as the NFL salary cap, and it's going to be around $200 million. So as you can see, I'm close to $48 million in cap space. And other teams have a lot more cap space than me, and there are a few that have less. So that comes into play when the free agent auction begins. That's how much money we'll have to play with in the auction. So now I'm going to go to the team rosters page. And this is how you set your lineup, of course. Everyone's familiar with this. But let's look at the contracts. So as you can see, Lamar Jackson, this is what he's getting paid last year, and this is what he's going to get paid this year. I drafted him in the second round a few years back. So his contract is very low and manageable. The length is 4 years total, and it expires next year in 2021. So at that point, I'll have a decision to make. I could extend him, or I could cut him, or I could franchise tag him for 1 more year. See, I have Drew Brees in his last year of his contract making $19 million. Now, these green tags, these are the franchise tags options. I don't particularly have anyone that I would like to franchise tag this year. Most of these players are not important to my team. I did think about Brashad Perryman. He did come on late last year. He's on a new team though. And as you can see, if I try to tag him, he's going to make $35 million under the franchise tag. That is what the top 5 average salaries are for the wide receivers in this league. So I am not going to tag Brashad Perriman. I'll try to maybe re-pick him up in the free agent auction, perhaps. but I'm not going to tag him for that much money. Same with Emmanuel Sanders. Greg Olsen, there's no way. Will Lutz is a kicker, and as you see, $5 million is much more reasonable. But I don't think I need to do that. Kickers are a dime a dozen. I can go out in the free agent market and get me a kicker for a decent value. Don't need to pay that much for tagging a kicker. So, and then you look at your cap overview. Basically, that is the salary that I'm committed to this year, $150 million. That is the draft pick. I have the 12th pick in the second round, the final pick of the draft. This is what I'll be committing to the rookies that I draft. The rookie, I should say, that I draft. That'll be the salary after I do that. And so that I'll have about $48 million or so to play with in the draft auction when it comes time for that. The additional space required, that's how many roster spots if I had to pay the minimum salary of $500,000 to each roster spot to fill my roster. So that's about $3 million to fill those spaces on my roster if I went bare minimum. So just like in the NFL, when a player comes upon their final year of their contract, sometimes they'll want an extension. And in this league, that happens as well. We're allowed to have one extension per year for a player. And I did that with Antonio Brown a few years back. And as you can see, this year he's making $30 million to basically rot on my bench because he's a free agent and nobody's picked him up, and he's suspended the first 8 weeks of the season. And so his contract goes through 2022. So this is a candidate to perhaps I might want to drop him, but the penalties are severe because you have to still pay out their guaranteed money. So if I go to drop Antonio Brown, you'll notice that this year about half of his salary is guaranteed, so I'll eat $15 million. But I'll also free up $15 million in the cap space. But then in 2021, I have to pay his entire salary. His entire salary is guaranteed for that year. So I'm not going to cut him because that'll kill me. I might try to trade him, but nobody really wants him. So my really only hope for Antonio Brown is that a team in the NFL picks him up, and after week 8, he'll start playing again so I can get some kind of value out of him. It's one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made, signing him to that extension. It also makes you think about, in the auction, how many years you want to give guys. You can give them up to 4 years. So you really need to be careful about who you're giving out 4-year contracts to. You don't want to give them out to the wrong guys. You want to give them out to young guys that don't get into trouble, that you know will be around in 4 years. And also you want to think about running back life. Running back life in the NFL usually they don't last very long. So you have to be very careful about who you offer 4-year deals to in the auctions. You might want to give it to a guy like Christian McCaffrey, but you don't want to give it to the older running backs like Le'Veon Bell. People that have done that in the past on Le'Veon are regretting it now. So yeah, you really have to think about how many years you want to offer each guy. So here is the free agent auction room. This is a sample that we're going to show you here, what it would look like in an auction. So now it's beginning, and we need to nominate a player. Camarillo flashes, that's me on the nomination clock. I'm going to nominate Christian McCaffrey. So I nominated him, and you see the offers up here. I have the highest offer right now at $500,000, but you'll see they'll make it higher. 4 years, 175. So I'm gonna go up. I just increased it to 4 years, 187.5. I'm the current leader, and we'll see if I get him. I now have Christian McCaffrey on my team. So now Team 2 is on the nomination clock. They nominate Saquon Barkley. Let's see how much he goes for. The current offer is right here. 4 years, $143 million. So the bidding is taking place. As you can see, it's up to $183 over 4 years. Now in this particular setup, you can only offer one 4-year contract, so that's why it's great out here for me. I can't offer him that. I can offer him 3 years, but I choose not to. Actually, I believe I accidentally picked him for 3 years, $165 million. And I got him. So now I have Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley, but as you can see, almost half my salary cap is now gone. So now Michael Thomas is up. I really don't want to get him too. I just don't have the money. I need to be more safe with my cash that I have remaining. And Michael Thomas went for 4 years, 187. So as you can see, this is how it goes. It'll keep going until all the teams have filled their roster spots, and that'll be how the free agent auction works. So that's how the auction works. When you do a Dynasty startup on Reality Sports Online, that's how it's going to begin. You're going to start with the auction, and everyone's going to bid on players until everyone has enough spots on their roster filled. And then once you've established your rosters, next year you'll start off things off with a rookie draft, where you'll have 2 or 3 rounds of rookie drafting, depending on what settings you use, and you pick up rookies coming into the NFL. And then any players that are left over, you'll go to the free agent auction and you'll bid on those players. So those will be veteran players that aren't on teams and rookies that weren't drafted. And so as you can see, it's a lot of fun. You do this every year and it can be intense. So you really have to go in planning. And I'm going to show you a little bit about what goes into that right now. So this is my roster. Wanted to kind of talk about what kind of things I'm thinking about here for the rookie draft and the free agent auction. So I'm pretty set at quarterback because I still have Lamar Jackson and Dwayne Haskins. You know, who knows what he's going to do, but I have him until 2022. And then I have Drew Brees. So between Lamar Jackson and Drew Brees, I'm probably set for this year. Although I could draft a rookie quarterback if one falls to me. Not really thinking that'll happen, but that's an option. Or I could go into the free agent auction and pick up another veteran just in case to have that like third bona fide veteran quarterback, maybe like a Ben Roethlisberger or something to that effect. But really, between Lamar and Brees, I think I'm pretty good, so I'm not too worried about quarterback. Then you go to running back and you see I don't have depth at running back, but I have the best 2 running backs in football. I have Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley, and I did have Devonta Freeman, but I decided to cut him and free up some cap space. But you're probably wondering, how the heck did I get Saquon and Christian McCaffrey? Well, a few years back, I made a trade. I traded one of my receivers, and I think it was Terrell Pryor, and I got a first-round pick for him. And that first-round pick ended up being the first overall pick the year that Christian McCaffrey was coming out. At that time, Leonard Fournette was the consensus number 1 pick. And the guy that had the number 2 pick, he wanted Leonard Fournette. So what I did is I said, hey, if you want to move up to the number 1 pick, give me your next year's first round pick and we'll swap picks this year. And so we did. He traded me his first round pick the following year and I gave him the first pick this year. And so I dropped to the second pick. He took Leonard Fournette and I took Christian McCaffrey, who by the way was the guy I wanted all along. But the following year, that pick that I got from him ended up being the first overall pick. So that is when I turned that pick into Saquon Barkley. And that is why my team is so good, because I set myself up with 2 stud young running backs that I have, as you can see, through the 2021 season. And there'll be a point where I'll be able to extend one or both of them, probably for ridiculous amounts of money, but they might be worth it. But we'll see. Running backs' shelf lives are not as long as other positions, so I really need to monitor that situation closely. But I think I'm pretty good through 2021 for the next 2 seasons with this running back core. So, but what I will be targeting in the free agent auction is backup running back depth. I'm going to need to get 2 or 3 at least more running backs, veteran running backs that can help me out. And I might even look to draft one in the rookie draft. We'll see what comes my way. Then at wide receiver, you see I have Paris Campbell, who I'm pretty high on. I think I drafted him last year. I think he could be a solid piece. I'm not sure if I want to go back into the free agent auction and try to get Rashard Perryman, because I do like him, but he is going to a new team, so we're not sure yet. Zach Pascal, I'm going to let I'm gonna let him go. Devontae Parker I have under contract through 2021. I'm happy about that, and I got him at a really good deal last year. So he's only making $3 million, almost $4 million, whatnot. Not a problem. So I love having Devontae Parker. I am thinking about dropping Kiki Kute. He's not really one of the top options in the Houston offense. I drafted him a few years back. Not real excited about him. As you can see, it would cost me about half his salary if I were to drop him, but I would free up some more cap space, so I'm considering that. And then there's Antonio Brown, who I don't anticipate will play much this season, and if he does, it won't be until at least week 9. So I have Emmanuel Sanders, who's going to go into free agency. I'm going to let him go, and I do have Corey Davis. I don't have great star power at the wide receiver position, so that may be where I spend the most money in the free agent auction, is on a wide receiver. I'm hoping some major wide receiver hits that free agent market and I can go after him. And then, of course, I want a little bit more depth there as well. And then at the tight end position, I'm always set because I have Kelsey under contract through 2022, which is awesome. So all I really need is one backup tight end that can help me out during the bye week and maybe just give me some depth just in case of injury. A kicker, I'll just pick up 1 or 2 kickers for cheap. And then I have 2 defenses, and I'm pretty set there as well. The New Orleans defense and the Baltimore defense, they're both pretty good. I may look to get one more defense if I have some money left over. We'll see. But really, my concentration in the free agent auction is going to be at running back and wide receiver, just getting that depth. I'm trying to get a stud wide receiver, and then I'm trying to get depth at both the running back and wide receiver position. And let's look at some other teams and see what kind of decisions they have to make. So this is Talking Heads. And anybody with a 0 means their contract has expired this year. So these are the type of decisions that he would have to make. Will he want to maybe give the franchise tag to Tom Brady or Melvin Gordon III? He's not going to want to do Auden Tate or Amendola or Conley, maybe not even Fitzgerald. He's got DeMarcus Robinson, Crowder, Gerald Everett. So you see, those are the guys that are coming up. So what he'll have to decide, basically, is do I want to offer a franchise tag to Tom Brady or Melvin Gordon? And my guess is Brady's going to be somewhere around $30 million, and Melvin Gordon is going to be like $35 million. So that's a big decision he needs to make, because he can only franchise tag one person, and the other is going to go into the free agent market. And he may choose not to franchise tag either one of them, and then both would be available in the free agent auction. So let's take a look at one more team here. Let's take a look at the Burbank Red Dogs and see what kind of decisions they have to make. Tannehill's up. DeAndre Washington. Darius Slayton, who's, pretty good. Keenan Allen. Kyle Rudolph. Hunter Henry. So he's going to have to make a decision here who he offers the franchise tag to. Does he want to offer it to Keenan Allen or Ryan Tannehill? Probably not, because he's got Matt Stafford and Matt Ryan there. And Keenan Allen has a new quarterback, and his franchise tag is going to be somewhere in the $30 to $35 million range. Is he really worth that much money for 1 year? I'm not sure, but he'll have to decide that. So basically, that's how it works. These decisions have to be made 3 days prior to the rookie draft. And I'm going to go to the home page, and you'll see that we've set here's the home page. We've set the draft, which is going to start here in 6 days and 21 hours. So in 3 days and 21 hours, rosters will lock. So all decisions have to be made prior to that. And once we hit that 3-day window, no moves are to be made. The website will automatically drop all unsigned players into the free agent auction. And then in 6 days, we will have the rookie draft. And that's your draft order. We'll do 2 rounds. I'll have the last pick of the second round. Once that is over, then I think a couple days later, we have our free agent auction. And that's what I just showed you earlier. And we'll fill the rest of our rosters with those guys and determine their contracts. And then we'll be good to go. So there you have it. That's basically how it works. You got a little sneak peek into how a Dynasty League works. It's a lot of fun. In a future podcast, I do plan on actually giving you a taste of the live auction and the rookie draft. The rookie draft is a slow draft. It's done over email, so I can just show you the results of that one. But the live auction, I'll let you get a peek of that and see what goes down. That should be a lot of fun, so look forward to that in a future podcast. I'm hoping that maybe some of you that have never tried this, that saw this video, might actually consider playing. You do have some time. We have about, I don't know, a month before the NFL season starts. So get on Reality Sports Online. See if there's any availability in any of the leagues. There's always leagues that are looking for teams to take over abandoned teams. Take one of those abandoned teams on. Build a team. If you're a builder like I am and you like to build things from scratch, do it, man. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully you had fun watching this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe so you can get the content. We do these fantasy football podcasts every weekend. I've got a guest appearance for my show next week. Looking forward to it. I'm hoping you'll like it. And if you like my Hawaiian shirts that I wear here, don't forget in the links, Amazon, you can buy one of these shirts and look cool like me or dorky like me, however you want to look at it. But we appreciate you watching today's podcast on the Guy Talk Network. Aloha.
Don't forget, mock draft.